This is the Impulsive Thinker Podcast, a show for high-achieving ADHD entrepreneurs. Together, we will inform and educate you about how to improve your self-awareness while developing systems, routines, and habits for conquering the entrepreneurial world. Here is your host, Andre Brisson.
Hey there, it's Andre, the Impulsive Thinker. This week, I just want to go over a few things based on the conversation I had this week with Dr. Parhar about depression and ADHD, especially with coexisting with ADHD, which is a common mental condition that coexists with ADHD. Personally, I believe that ADHD, due to our intense emotions, that ADHDers are more prone to depressive moods, especially when triggered. And I have accepted this over time, and because I noticed I can get in these, I thought it was called depression. I thought it was depression for a while, but I was able to get in and out. But I could always relate back to something that triggered me, that made me got me into depressive mood. A perceived slight, rejection sensitivity, dysphoria, or just feeling, someone said something differently and I got upset about it, and then I went to a depressive mood. And now that I've understand this and accept this, I try to get myself out of these depressive moods as quickly as possible. Either I talk my way out of it, saying, hey, like I was doing the other night, it's like, hey, they didn't mean to ignore you. They want you there, and you should not get too sensitive of that they didn't remember they were supposed to watch a TV show rather than play a game without me. So I got out of the mood. Usually I would have just said, hey, screw you all. I'm just going to stay up here and mope. But I said, okay, fine. Oh, I said that. But then I just said, I'm going to go do it anyways. And I got myself out. So, and then the other thing too, to get out of these depressive moods is to go and do something. And then I also reflect on what triggered me. In this case, it was, didn't remember what we decided to do. I was looking forward to it, and they forgot and made plans with someone else. That was my trigger, and I said, you know what? And I got to think through it rationally. And the reason I'm thinking about this with the depressive moods was based on the conversation I had with Chuck Engelfeld when we talked about his depression, where he shared his experiences with us, and he said that the mood traps you. It grabs you. You don't choose the mood. And at a conference I was at, and they're saying a lot of times with ADHD people, our moods or our anxiety, a lot of times they're triggered, not just occur. So that's where I started to think about a lot of us. I think we're more prone to depressive moods just because of our intense emotions and our rejection sensitivity, dysphoria. But at the flip side, though, if we do this too often, or the moods do choose you and will not let you go. And then based on the conversation I had with Chuck Engelfeld there on our podcast, it got me to realize that I did suffer real clinical depression once, and that was scary as hell. Everything he told us on that podcast about how he doesn't care if his company goes over, he doesn't care if his staff, he can't support his staff anymore. He just did not care. It was life was not worth living, I don't think he said life wasn't worth living. It was life wasn't worth doing any for. The mood grabbed them, and for me during that time, it was 7 days in bed. I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to get food. I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to go to the bathroom. I was like, what's the point? And honestly, I truly did not care if my company would go under. I just did not care. And at the time, I don't think I really realized it was scary, but later on I was kind of noticing, hey, this isn't right. Something's going on here. And I think for me, I was lucky that the mood chose to let go. And then after that, I went and got help, and I started talking to people because that was quite scary, and I never want to be in that position again. Like, I didn't want to move, and I'm a hyperactive guy, and if I don't move, I get anxious, I get, twitchy, fidgety, but I just wanted to sleep. And I tell you, I slept, and usually I have a hard time sleeping and staying asleep. So luckily I haven't experienced it yet, but I think I have more tools in my toolbox because of my therapy and my reaching out that I can work with this, or as stuff is going on or approaching, I got tools to work on it. And like Chuck said himself, it's not a failure of us being depressed. It's just our body. It's funny. Our brain uses depression or anxiety or any of these mental health conditions as a method to protect us. But if it goes too far, too long, then becomes a problem and a challenge. And we gotta work it out. There's nothing wrong with that. If you decide to get help, that means you're putting yourself and your family first. You help yourself, you get clarity, you get better, then you can help everyone else. And you're giving yourself credit that you're worth it. You're giving yourself priority because you are important. If you're important to yourself, you're going to be important for others. And if you're not healthy, you're useless to other people. So you, like the old adage, when the plane's going down, put the oxygen mask on you first so you can breathe, so you can help others. Don't give the mask to someone else because you can't help when you're not in good shape. So the other thing too is, based on the experience and a lot of my mental health condition, is there's a lot of people that want to help us, but in a way they're doing it wrong. So right now what I'd like to do is talk to the people. Is if you want to help someone with depression, and I'm also speaking from experience here, is don't tell them to lighten up or explain they have a great life, so suck it up, be better. Be there for them, listen, don't provide advice unless requested, and be consistently there. You don't have to say anything. Just show up and be there physically, because I think that energy from you will come in and disrupt the mood. And just being there is the key thing here. And sometimes saying nothing helps a lot. And knowing their will, knowing them will deepen, I lost my train of thought there. Ignoring them will deepen the depression. Now just think about it. I know a lot of us say, we don't want to be around. They don't want us around. But I think that's what's the difference, is when someone is just physically there, not saying anything, doing anything, they're there supporting you. But when they ignore you, or we take it as being ignored, it deepens the depression. No one wants to be around us. And, I get it. You don't want to be around people who are depressed because it brings your energy down. And it's them that's having the challenge, and it's not for you to fix it. And don't make it about you, how it's affecting you, because, again, that just makes it worse. Now you're going to make me feel worse because it's affecting you. And it's about them. And again, mental health is more important than your physical health. Take care of your brain and it'll take care of you. And please, if you're in these conditions, or someone else is going through deep depressions, please, to the person who's suffering with depression, get help, get the support, talk to a friend, get professional help. If you see someone who's in very depressed, just be there for them and listen to them. Ask them questions. Don't provide advice. Don't explain why they got a good life. Just listen to them. A lot of times, it's just getting it off our chest helps a great deal. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Impulsive Thinker podcast. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, rate, and review the show. It helps us get discovered by listeners like you. If you can share it with at least 2 people, that'll start the process. Please follow us on social media. Just search for Tactical BTS. We regularly share interesting conversations and breakthroughs about entrepreneurship and ADHD. That's Tactical BTS. Talk to you soon.
Thank you for listening to the Impulsive Thinker podcast. If you have a question, comment, or suggestion for the show, please visit theimpulsivethinker.com. The Impulsive Thinker podcast is produced by Tactical Breakthroughs and hosted by Andre Brisson. Remember, ADHD is only a part of you, not all of you.